Rest. We long for it, yet so often we can't find it. It remains out of reach amid the busyness of life. Hebrews 4 shows us the answer. Not just physical rest, but eternal rest with God. A better rest secured by Jesus. The passage begins with a warning in verse 1. Therefore, while the promise of entering his rest still stands, let us fear lest any of you should seem to have failed to reach it. The promise is real. The door is still open, but don't miss it. Israel did. Verse 2 continues, for good news came to us just as to them, but the message they heard did not benefit them because they were not united by faith with those who listened. That is, they heard God's promises but didn't combine them with faith. An entire generation missed out. The warning is clear. True hearing leads to an active faith and trust in God. See in verse 3, for we who have believed enter that rest. Those who believe enter God's rest. And this rest is not just about Israel or the promised land. Verse 4 takes us back to creation. And God rested on the seventh day from all his works. The climax of creation wasn't the creation of men and women on day 6, but God resting. The seventh day breaks with the morning and evening pattern from the previous 6 days. The seventh day never ends. God is still in his Sabbath rest, delighting in his finished work, and he invites us to join him. But Israel refused. In verse 5 we read, they shall not enter my rest. They hardened their hearts and they missed out. However, by God's grace, in verse 6, there remains an active invitation for some to enter into God's rest. That's why verse 7 presses the urgency. Today, if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts. The invitation is not yesterday or tomorrow, it's today. Every generation is summoned to trust. And here's the key. This rest is much bigger than a weekly Sabbath. Verse 8 says, for if Joshua had given them rest, God would not have spoken of another day later on. Joshua led Israel into the land, but the rest was temporary, and only a foretaste of the more significant type of rest that God offers. Verse 9 gives us the bigger reality. So then, there remains a Sabbath rest for the people of God. This is more than a day. It's eternal fellowship with God. Now, verse 10 adds, for whoever has entered God's rest has also rested from his works as God did from his. Just as God finished creation, Jesus finished redemption. On the cross, he cried, it is finished. Through his life, death, and resurrection, the work is done. And it's here that Hebrews echoes the words of Jesus in Matthew 11:28-30. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Do you see it? Jesus himself is the better rest. But this isn't a call to laziness. Hebrews chapter 4 verse 11 says, let us therefore strive to enter that rest, so that no one may fall by the same sort of disobedience. The striving here is perseverance in faith. Don't fall away. Keep trusting Jesus. And God gives us a tool to keep going. His word. Check out verse 12. For the word of God is living and active, sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing to the division of soul and of spirit, of joints and of marrow, and discerning the thoughts and intentions of the heart. The word cuts deep. It exposes what no one else can see. And verse 13 adds, and no creature is hidden from his sight, but all are naked and exposed to the eyes of him to whom we must give account. Now that sounds confronting, and it is. But it's also a gift of grace, because the same word that exposes our sin points us to Christ, who bore our judgment and opened the way to God's eternal rest. So where does this leave us? Well, the promise still stands. The invitation is open. Today, don't harden your heart. Rest is more than one day off in 7. Rest is a person. Rest is Jesus. Come to him.